Okay, hello all. This is just going to be an update on my concealed carry permit video I filmed a while back. Since then, I have also applied for my Philadelphia license to carry firearms. That's what this is mainly going to be about. A lot of people have, had bad experiences there and whatnot, and said, complaining mostly about the interview and the fingerprinting, which is both illegal according to the Uniform Firearm Act, which it technically is. So I just wanted to share my experience with the whole permit process, or the applicant process. It's right there in Spring Garden, around 10th and Spring Garden, close to downtown. I applied a few days ago, December 10th. Went in there right when they opened at 8:30. Walked in, had everything I needed. Went upstairs to the second floor, signed in. I was the third person there. The detective called me up, and I don't know what it was, but they have booths there. It looks like a firing range. I went down and sat in one bay. Detective took my application from me. She looked through it, made sure it was filled out. I had my 2 reference sheets. I had my DD-214, a photo, 2 proof of residences in Philadelphia County, and the interview part, I didn't even know what's happening, to be honest. She just asked me went over every question on the application, pulled out a 2-page piece of paper, and asked me pretty much all the questions I had already answered on the application. And about the tattoos, she did ask me about what tattoos I had. She didn't make me take off my shirt or anything, but I just pointed to them where they were on my body. She just filled them out, which I guess they did that for gang, to see if you're affiliated with a gang or something. But after that, she said, "Okay, have a seat, and the other detective will call you back." And I sat down. About 10 minutes later, another detective called me back. She took me in his back room. It looked like a big copy machine, like an office copy machine, with like a little plexiglass piece on it, about that big. And I guess that's a fingerprint machine. If you were ever in the military and went through MEPS, if you remember, they took your fingerprints on that machine. That's what it looked like, except I guess this one was older because the detective had to spray water on the plexiglass. But I didn't have a problem with that. It took her a while because the machine, kept on bringing my prints up as blurry. And I'd had my fingerprints taken before for non-resident permits in the military, so I know how to just relax your finger. But that wasn't that bad. The only complaint I really have is she said, "Alright, come back in about 45 business days." Or 45 days, she said, and I said business days, and she said yes, business days. Well, as you all know, in Pennsylvania, that's not how it goes. It's supposed to be 45 calendar days. And they're actually closed from December 20th to January 3rd. So, by that count, calendar days would be roughly January 24th, and business days would be February 26th. So, but I'll just go in January 26th because I hear a lot of people get their license that way. Just check the status update sheet, and then they say, "Oh, you were approved." So, I'll probably do that. But I'll be really bummed if they tell me to come back on February 26th. But no big deal. The whole process was pretty easy, headache-free, very simple. Aside from being, having false laws enforced on them, I know why people complain about it. You shouldn't have false laws enforced upon you, but it was a pleasant process. I have no real problem with it. I would do it again. Hopefully I don't. Like I said, it wasn't that bad, Also, I received my Arizona concealed weapon permit. That's not my dog. Neighbors. But anyway, though, from the day I put it in the mailbox to the day I received the letter, that was exactly 3 weeks. So I got my Arizona permit in 3 weeks. That is excellent. I'm still waiting on Virginia. Monday was week 10. So it should be coming sometime before Christmas. So I'm just checking the mail every day for my Virginia. Florida, I didn't get around to mailing yet because this whole thing with the new Attorney General we're getting here in Pennsylvania, she's vowed to close the evil Florida loophole because she doesn't want to get people getting them through the internet. Oh, that's another thing is when the detective asked me if I had any concealed carry permits from any other state, I said yes, I have in Arizona, and she said, did you get it through the internet like you can in Florida? And I kind of did laugh in my head, and then yet I did correct her and say, no, you have to mail in an application and have a law enforcement officer take your fingerprints, just like you do with a Florida. And she looked at me like, kind of like, really? I honestly didn't know that. But, that was about it. She just looked at me when I said, no, and explained to her about the Florida. So, I don't know where they got, I don't know where that whole thing came where you can get your Florida through a few clicks of the mouse. But, anyway, though, like if somebody who already has a gun illegally isn't going to go apply for a license to carry, don't want to get denied, try and carry it again. They're just going to shove their 25 in their pocket and walk down the street. Well, this is not that video. I just wanted to talk about my Pennsylvania license to carry firearm, how I don't want to say enjoyable because my PAFOA buddies are going to laugh at me, but honestly, I did not think it was bad. Like most of the people who badmouth it to me, it looks like, are the people who live outside of Philadelphia and, got it like that, except in Montgomery County. But, yeah, that's not that bad. Like I said, it wasn't that bad. But, thank you for watching. Please comment, please subscribe. Thank you, YouTube.